James Fairchild. I am the UAW.
Tonight, the soaring cost of living. Many Americans are struggling to pay their bills and falling deeper into debt as food and energy prices ignite the worst inflation in nearly 2 decades. I'm Katie Couric. Also tonight, Carolina on their minds. The Republican presidential candidates campaign in South Carolina for their Saturday showdown. And we asked all the major contenders for the White House, what is the worst piece of advice you've ever given someone? And Congress wants to know why this pharmaceutical executive unloaded millions of dollars in stock before a critical study was made public.
This is the CBS Evening News with Katie Couric.
Good evening, everyone. You know, we've been hearing a lot lately about the R word, recession, and if the possibility of that isn't enough to worry about, well, here's something else tonight, inflation. The government reported today that inflation was running more than 4% last year. That's sharply higher than the year before and the highest level in 17 years. And here's why. Energy prices were up nearly 17.5%, food up nearly 5%. Also the biggest increases in nearly 2 decades. As Anthony Mason reports, this is bad news for Americans who are already having a hard time making ends meet.
With their shop till you drop spirit, American consumers have been the backbone of the U.S. economy and a firewall against recession. But there are growing signs many are in trouble, not just cutting back, but falling behind on payments for credit cards and car loans.
These delinquencies are rising much faster than we had anticipated.
Wells Fargo and J.P. Morgan Chase today put aside more than $3 billion to cover rising consumer loan losses. Citibank, Capital One, and American Express are also reporting rising delinquencies. Take credit card payments, for example. In August, a little more than 6% were 60 days overdue. By November, it was more than 7.5%, a nearly 20% rise in just 3 months.
The X factor here is going to be the unemployment rate. That's really what drives a lot of these delinquencies.
Appreciate you coming in today.
And the unemployment rate shot up to 5% last month. When a new Walmart store began hiring in Atlanta last week, 7,500 people showed up to apply for 400 jobs.
Millions of families, the recession is already here.
In Washington, Congress is considering an emergency economic stimulus package. The tax rebates under consideration, economists say, could give the economy a shot in the arm.
It has to happen right away. It has to be targeted so that the money which comes out of the federal government is actually spent by households or businesses.
Fed Chairman Ben Bernanke, who speaks to Congress tomorrow, is widely expected to cut interest rates again in a couple of weeks. But rate cuts alone, which can take months to work their way through the economy, may come too late to keep us out of a recession. Katie?
Anthony Mason, thank you. And now we want to take you beyond the cold, hard numbers. Cynthia Bowers shows us what happens when higher prices and a slowing economy start hitting home.
Working as a community counselor on Chicago's West Side, Teresa Welsh Davis knew she'd never get rich. But she thought she made enough to get by. Now she's not so sure.
I bet you didn't need a government report to tell you we're dealing with inflation.
No, I live it every day. Every day that I come in and I pick up the bills, or either I go to the store.
Where she's seen milk go up 29% in the last year and eggs go up 36%. Meantime, her paycheck stayed the same.
Used to could take $150 to $175 for a month and feed us. Is now only carrying us 2 weeks.
And with gas up 30%, just getting to work can be a struggle.
It used to take $25 to fill up a car. It's now taking you almost $50 a week to fill your car up.
And there's no let up in sight. The bills just keep coming, and that keeps her up at night.
How scared do you feel when you write the checks?
Every time I write a check, I thank God for that one day that I can say that there is enough to pay this bill, but then the phone rings and it's a bill collector saying, well, you didn't pay this bill.
She says her bills run $1,000 more a month than she's making. For now, she's picking which ones to pay, but knows one day soon she may be forced to do the unimaginable, sell the home she worked so hard to buy.
And it's going to hurt the day that I have to close those doors and have to walk away from my house.
Another potential casualty of a troubled economy. Cynthia Bowers, CBS News, Bellwood, Illinois.
And the economy's become the major issue in this presidential campaign. Fresh off his victory over John McCain in Michigan last night, Mitt Romney stumped for votes today in South Carolina. Polls there show Romney trailing McCain and Mike Huckabee badly 3 days before the next GOP primary. Bill Whitaker is traveling with the Romney campaign.
It worked once, so why not again? So Mitt Romney hit South Carolina, stressing what worked in Michigan.
I'll fight to try and reignite our economy, and I will fight, most importantly, long term, to keep America as it has always been, the most powerful economic engine in the world. Thank you.
Basking in the afterglow of victory, he got a standing ovation, his first stop.
What did you think of what you heard? I was very impressed. I find him engaging, forthright, and I could vote for him for president.
Oh, thank you.
It all had Romney feeling
Terrific.
But if any place can wipe a smile off a candidate's face, it's South Carolina. Romney is at the back of the pack here. John McCain, who got mauled here in 2000, is at the front. His natural constituency, retired vets.
My friends, we are succeeding in Iraq. We are succeeding.
Mike Huckabee, with a solid base of evangelicals, tried perhaps too hard today to prove he's still a good old boy.
I know how to eat grits. I speak the language. And, we even know how to talk about eating fried squirrel and stuff like that.
With 3 different winners from 3 different contests, and even Fred Thompson ready to rumble.
It's a jump ball.
Republican Governor Mark Sanford says GOP voters here are frustrated and picky this year.
People are really going through with a fine-tooth comb.
The newest flavor of the day says, what's wrong with that?
It's like choosing between, Rocky Road and pistachio and, pralines and cream. They're all pretty good.
And they all must be hoping that Rudy Giuliani is right, that it really won't matter much this year until the big states weigh in. As for Romney, he's hedging his bets. While the others are fighting it out here, he's taking his show on the road to Nevada tomorrow. Katie?
Bill Whitaker. Bill, thank you. Jeff Greenfield is our senior political correspondent. I guess, Jeff, there are 2 words for the Republican race right now: wide open.
That's right. In fact, the whole Republican contest is just a twist on Casey Stengel's own line about the lowly New York Mets. Can anybody here win this game? Huckabee, McCain, Romney. 3 contests, 3 victors. And a roadmap ahead drawn with invisible ink. Will Fred Thompson be finished if he doesn't win South Carolina? Can McCain or Huckabee gain traction there? Can Romney succeed outside his home state of Michigan? Can Rudy Giuliani really leapfrog into contention with a Florida win? This isn't how the Republican Party picks its nominees. Since 1968, the GOP has chosen the obvious choice every time: Nixon, Ford, Reagan, Bush 1, Dole, Bush 2. But this year, all the candidates have serious liabilities. John McCain is short on money and has persistent problems winning Republican votes. Mike Huckabee's record has drawn fire from some economic conservatives, and he has no national security credentials. Rudy Giuliani has a messy personal life and views on abortion, gay rights, and guns sharply at odds with most Republicans. Mitt Romney has changed so many positions that Republicans have given him low approval ratings. And except for a few minutes in one debate, Fred Thompson has shown little signs of political life. In fact, so scrambled is this race that it has stirred an old dream among political types that it just may be that we will have to wait for the convention, Katie, to see what happens.
And will the absence of a clear front runner at this juncture, Jeff, in your view, make it harder for the Republicans in November?
That's a conventional notion, but, there are plenty of times when a contested nominee has gone on to victory in November. Sometimes it jazzes up the party.
Well, it definitely makes it more interesting for us.
No question about that.
All right, Jeff Greenfield. Jeff, thank you. Meanwhile, the Democrats focused their attention on Saturday's Nevada caucuses. Barack Obama held a town meeting in Henderson today. Most polls predict a tight race between him and Hillary Clinton, who also campaigned in Nevada, as did John Edwards, who's running a close third in the state. There is much more CBS News ahead. Coming up later, I asked the presidential candidates about the worst advice they ever got or gave.
Oh, I've had so much bad advice.
Tonight's primary questions. But up next, did a major drug company withhold bad information about one of its best-selling drugs for financial gain?
Steaming. It's never been used like this before.
We used a new way of steaming to create cafe steamers.
This new and unique steam cooker lets you lock in all the naturally fresh flavors by steaming in your microwave. Try new Healthy Choice cafe steamers.
Did you know 1 in 3 men will face prostate issues?
1 in 3, really?
That's why One A Day Men's is a complete multivitamin with lycopene, which Harvard studies suggest may help prostate health. One A Day Men's.
Going over and over? It's not just you. Stopping and starting? Going urgently? You're not alone. Lots of guys experience male urinary symptoms due to BPH, also known as an enlarged prostate. But for many guys, prescription Flomax may relieve urinary symptoms due to BPH in 1 week. And who doesn't want to spend less time in the bathroom? Only your doctor can tell if you have BPH, not prostate cancer. Common side effects of Flomax are runny nose, dizziness, and decrease in semen. Upon standing, a sudden drop in blood pressure may occur, rarely resulting in fainting. So when starting Flomax, avoid situations where injury could result. If considering cataract surgery, tell your eye surgeon you've taken Flomax. Do what millions of guys have already done. Ask your doctor about Flomax and call 877-4FLOMAX for a free 1-week trial. Why wait? Join the crowd. Flomax could make a difference in 1 week.
These days, it seems like they're trying to protect us from everything. Roll-On protects us from odor. Coffee has a warning label. This is hot. You think we're missing the point? Let's just keep our eye on the big ball. Protect us from the things that matter.
Quality and safety. Both can be yours with $1,000 cash back on a 2007 Santa Fe.
It seems so exceptional that things just work out after all. It's just another ordinary miracle today.
You take the time to care for so many in your life. Take a little time for yourself with the newest skincare and beauty products at CVS Pharmacy. CVS Pharmacy, for all the ways you care.
Earlier this week, we told you about a new report questioning the effectiveness of the popular cholesterol-lowering drug Vytorin. Today, Congress demanded to know why it took so long for the makers of the drug to release that report to the public and whether there were financial motives for the delay. Here's early show consumer correspondent Susan Kopen.
Cholesterol comes from 2 sources.
And it looks like Vytorin's problems are coming from 2 sources as well. First, from Capitol Hill, where Congress wants to know why it took the drug makers Schering-Plough and Merck almost 2 years to reveal results of a study showing that Vytorin, which combines Zocor with Zetia, is no more effective than Zocor alone.
The drug from a health point of view is not what it's advertised.
Congressman Stupak signed and sent letters today to both drug makers requesting documentation about what they knew and when they knew it, and whether they withheld information to protect their profits. Vytorin is more expensive than Zocor, which is available generically.
Schering-Plough and Merck were supposed to provide us information by 5 p.m. last night. At 4:50, they dropped off very incomplete files. We need the information.
From Mom's Lasagna, extra cheesy.
The letter also expresses concern about Vytorin's direct-to-consumer advertising campaign.
It's just a fraud. There's no other way to say it.
The second source of problems comes from inside Schering-Plough itself. Turns out President Carrie Smith Cox sold 900,000 shares of stock worth $28 million last spring after the study was completed, but well before the findings were made public this week. Both Schering-Plough and Merck told CBS News that they did not find out the results of the study done by outside researchers until 2 weeks ago.
But the drug makers had plenty of reasons not to want that information made public. Almost 500,000 prescriptions for Vytorin are written each week. Susan Kopen, CBS News, New York.
A follow-up now on our investigation this week of Social Security disability benefits. Armin Katayan revealed that most claims are initially denied. Today, Congressman Lloyd Doggett grilled a Social Security official about our report. Deputy Commissioner David Rust admitted there are problems in the system that need correcting, but he denied there is a culture designed to deny benefits. Still ahead, primary questions for the presidential candidates.
What is the worst piece of advice you've ever given another person?
Busting the myths about statins. Millions of us take these costly pills to help lower cholesterol. But do you really need them? And are the side effects worth it? We'll uncover the truth about statins and whether their effectiveness has been largely oversold in our special Eye on Your Health report. Tomorrow on the CBS Evening News with Katie Couric.
Who makes chicken noodle soup as good as your grandma?
I do, because I make it with Swanson broth.
Swanson broth is made with all-natural chicken stock and the flavors of garden vegetables and herbs.
My secret is Swanson broth.
For more recipes, visit swansonbroth.com.
Bad sore throat pain? New Cepacol spray is a big shot of relief. Numbs pain instantly in just one shot. Old-fashioned sprays need 5. New Cepacol spray. The little spray that's a big shot of relief.
When you're constipated, harsh stimulant laxatives can cause cramps. And cramps can give you a bad day. Phillips caplets don't have harsh stimulants, so you get relief overnight without cramps. Relief feels better with Phillips.
Hey, Bob. Yeah, have you disinfected the area? Good. Now make a 3-inch incision between the 4th and 5th abdominal muscles.
Shouldn't you be doing this?
It's really straightforward. Listen, I gotta go, Bob. I'll talk to you later.
Making important financial decisions on your own doesn't make much sense either. That's why Edward Jones prefers meeting clients face-to-face. Edward Jones, making sense of investing. Ranked highest in investor satisfaction with full-service brokerage firms by J.D. Power and Associates.
New improved Swiffer dusters. Once you get your hands on it, you won't want to use anything else.
I'm gonna get you one way or another. I'm gonna win you.
That's because new Swiffer dusters have textured strips that are specially designed to trap even more dust and allergens, while feather dusters can spread them around. And its fluffy fibers can get in almost anywhere. Nice pickup. Trapping dust, one of the 5 signs that Swiffer gives cleaning a whole new meaning.
In 6 weeks, someone will get their own Cheerios ad on TV. It could be you. In those same 6 weeks, Cheerios could help lower your cholesterol 4%. Cheerios. Now's the time to enter your ad at Cheerios.com.
Here comes $1 Million Madness, $1 Million Madness, $1 Million Madness.
I can't believe it's here.
Yes, it's $1 Million Madness, $1 Million Madness. I can't believe it's here.
Time is running out, and the January 22nd drawing is getting closer every minute. Will you be one of the $4 million winners? $1 Million Madness from the Tennessee Lottery.
Yes, it's $1 Million Madness, $1 Million Madness. I can't believe it's here.
A former U.S. congressman was charged today with having ties to a terrorism ring. According to the indictment, Mark Silginger lobbied in 2004 for an Islamic charity that secretly funded terrorists. He allegedly was paid with money stolen from the U.S. Agency for International Development. Silginger served as a Republican congressman from Michigan in the 1980s and was a delegate to the UN in 1987. Meanwhile, in Iraq today, 3 American soldiers were killed in combat north of Baghdad while on the hunt for al-Qaeda fighters. Last week, 3 other soldiers were killed in that same province in what is now being investigated as a possible case of friendly fire. Back in this country, the FBI says a Marine suspected of killing another Marine last month may have fled to his native Mexico. That's where the search is now focusing for Corporal Cesar Lorian. He disappeared from North Carolina after the murder of Lance Corporal Maria Louderback, who was 8 months pregnant. In other news, more trouble for the prosecutor in the Duke rape case. Mike Nifong has now filed for bankruptcy. Nifong, disbarred, disgraced, and out of a job, says a lawsuit filed by the wrongly accused lacrosse players has left him broke. Coming up next, the question that left some candidates laughing and another wishing he could take back his answer.
B-A. Wow, that was some cough. Hey, can you spell control?
You need Delsum, D-E-L-S-Y-M, Delsum.
Yeah, we're all suffering here.
That's why there's new Grape Children's Delsum, the only liquid that controls cough for a full 12 hours. That's 12 hours all day or all night. With Delsum, your child will feel better, and so will everyone around him.
The winner is Delsum. D-E-L-S-Y-M. Turn off the cough with Delsum.
Did you have some of this holiday treat?
Yep.
And this?
Yes, I did. And it wasn't a holiday for my digestive system. Irregularity, bloating.
Start the year with this.
Activia?
Works for me.
Make your resolution the Activia Challenge. With the natural culture Bifidus regularis, eating Activia every day is clinically proven to help regulate your digestive system in 2 weeks.
I love this resolution.
The Activia Challenge. It works or it's free.
At work, I wear black. My old shampoo wasn't working, so I switched.
Selsun Blue, doctor recommended for flakes and itch.
Never wear black without the blue. Selsun Blue.
For ultimate daily care, try Selsun Blue Salon.
Steaming. It's never been used like this before.
We used a new way of steaming to create cafe steamers.
This new and unique steam cooker lets you lock in all the naturally fresh flavors by steaming in your microwave. Try new healthy choice cafe steamers.
Poor girl. Worried her friends will find out her secret. She's got a bladder control problem. Time to have the Detrol discussion. That's it. I'm going in. Listen, I know what you're going through. Really?
It's not just the going. It's worrying that everyone will know.
You should have the Detrol discussion with your doctor. Detrol is the brand doctors prescribe most to help calm that gotta-go feeling. Just one Detrol LA works 24 hours, all day and all night to help calm those frequent sudden urges. If you have certain stomach problems, glaucoma, or trouble getting urine to pass, you shouldn't take Detrol LA. The most common side effects are dry mouth, headache, constipation, and abdominal pain. Ask your doctor if Detrol LA is right for you.
Doctor, Detrol, got it.
Okay, see you soon.
But not too soon.
Have the Detrol discussion with your doctor. To help you talk about overactive bladder, go to DetrolLA.com. She put her life on the line to help save another. We'll meet a Clarksville woman who has a harrowing tale to tell after witnessing a daring bank robbery. Next at 6.
Finally tonight, you see them all the time on TV, but how well do you really know the major presidential candidates? I asked each of them the same 10 questions designed to help you get a better idea of who they are. We've discussed some very personal issues such as infidelity, tempers, and their biggest fears in our series Primary Questions, Character, Leadership, and the Candidates. Tonight, the subject is advice that hasn't been helpful to them or others.
What is the worst piece of advice you've ever given another person?
The worst advice that I've given to myself was when the Confederate flag was flying over the state capitol in South Carolina. And I decided that I would say that's not an issue that I should be involved in, that it should be decided by the people of the state of South Carolina. I knew that it was a symbol that was very offensive to many people. And afterwards I went back and apologized, but it was needless to say, by saying that I wouldn't have anything to do with an issue like that was an act of cowardice.
Did someone advise you, Senator, to do that?
Yes. Yes, but that doesn't mean I should have taken it. I should have known better.
Let's see. Well, it's typically around personal things like, you really ought to get close to this person. That's the one for you. You ought to marry this person. I'm not always right in that kind of personal.
Not a good matchmaker.
I'm not a great matchmaker. I do. Yeah, I can think of some of the good advice. It's funny. It's like golf. As you ask these questions, you see, when you play golf, and I don't play very often, a couple times a year, your bad shots you forget. The good shots you remember forever. So I can think of some great advice I've given. But there have been times when I've said to people, I think you ought to get to know this person, and it didn't work out.
The worst piece of advice that I have given to anybody was to my younger sister. She's 9 years younger than me. And I think that I once told her that she should Well, no, actually, I probably shouldn't tell that story. You know what? I'm
Why?
sorry. No. You know what?
Well, your sister's going to be mad.
Well, right, exactly. Let me pull back on that. I thought of a good story, but I think it's too personal.
Did you tell your sister not to marry her husband or something? Now he'll be mad too.
Right, something? No.
Oh, these are impossible. The worst piece of advice I've ever given someone. I remember when I had a case as a lawyer where I represented a family. I won't go through all the circumstances. And because I thought the case was going well, I said to them that they should not, in my judgment, accept a settlement that had been offered. And we lost. We lost the case. And I was just dead wrong.
What's the worst piece of advice you've ever been given?
Well, there was an old lawyer down in the little hometown that I started practicing law in. And I had wanderlust. I'd been practicing there for 2 years, had a chance to become assistant U.S. attorney and come to Nashville and prosecute criminal cases for the federal government. He advised me against doing that. I say that it was worst advice because from a career standpoint, I've had a chance to do things that I never dreamed that I'd have a chance of doing. But I must quickly say that you never know about the road not taken. And I could have probably been very happy just being a country lawyer the way I had planned on being.
In my very first campaign, I allowed some political consultants to kind of talk me into an ad strategy that I really wasn't that comfortable with. It was in a race against Dale Bumpers, who was a United States Senator. He had voted on some funding that funded some really hideous projects in National Endowment for the Arts. The way the ad was done, we didn't accuse him of personally liking it, but the fact that he had voted to fund this stuff. Well, he came across, and he was able then to say that I had accused him of essentially being a pornographer, which I did not. But I learned a valuable lesson. It didn't work out, and I vowed then I would never, ever again allow my campaign, whatever, whenever, and whatever the cost, to engage in a message that I personally couldn't feel good about.
Two of my very closest friends urged me not to run for mayor of New York City. And they told me I couldn't win. And then when I started winning, the friend that I'm thinking about, Jay Waldman, he called me up and he said, now I have really bad news for you. You are going to win. And the job is undoable. And it turned out that, well, thank God that was, bad advice. They were only looking out for my best interests, I guess. And they also were looking at how impossible it was, they thought, to run a major city, in particular New York City, where books were written that was ungovernable, unmanageable, and they felt that I was jeopardizing any career I had by running for mayor of New York City, and they advised me against it in pretty strong terms.
Oh, I've had so much bad advice. When you're in my position, it's kind of like your position. I get a lot of advice. I mean, I've gotten lots of bad advice about various hairstyles. Oh, you've got to try this. Certain fashion mistakes that I've lived with because they're immortalized in pictures.
Your Mamie Eisenhower era, for example.
I know. I mean, I never really was frankly all that knowledgeable about what you might call style before I got thrust into the public spotlight. And so I was given and took a lot of bad advice over a number of years.
And I can relate to that. And that is the CBS Evening News. I'm Katie Couric. Thank you for watching. I'll see you tomorrow. Good night.
For news 24 hours a day, click on CBSNews.com. Brought to you in part by Prilosec OTC. Want to keep your heartburn from coming back? Try Prilosec OTC, the only OTC heartburn remedy that works to block heartburn before it begins. For 24 hours with one pill a day. The round-the-clock heartburn blocker.
Some areas in Middle Tennessee already have a coating of white, like Lawrenceburg. From our Skynet camera, we'll have the latest on how much snow we're going to get.
And if the weather gets bad, the Metro School District already has a plan in place. I'm Rodney Dunnigan. I'll have the story in a live report.
A Clarksville woman risked her life to help others during yesterday's deadly bank robbery, and tonight we hear from her.
Metro police say they know who stole 2 computers from the elections office. A live report just ahead.
A Nashville store clerk attacked during an armed robbery, and it was all caught on tape.
State senators pass a gun bill that favors gun owners. I'm News Channel 5's Mark Bellinger. I'll have a live report coming up next.
And more copper thefts, but this one could affect your phone calls. The news is now.
From your news and information leader, Tennessee's first and only local news in high definition. This is News Channel 5 at 6.
I was looking at him face to face, and he just pointed the gun and shot.
Scary moments for a Clarksville woman who witnessed yesterday's deadly bank robbery where hostages were taken.
But this woman fought back. Hi, everyone.